Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, feeling so much better this week. I think, what is it, a week until Christmas? I don't even know what day of the week it is. It's been a blur. Wow, it's been such a blur, but I'm feeling better. The cold that I had has gone away. I did take 2 COVID tests. Neither was positive, so that was good. So it feels like when you after you have a cold, you just kind of feel like a brand new woman because it's like, woohoo! I can seize the day now. I'm no longer feeling ill. So what have I been up to this week? So first thing, I want to let you know there's a new project up in Critique Club. This is the project right here, and I got something really fun and new this week, and I'm going to share it with you on Monday. But I'm going to give you a little preview. This right here was done using this tool right here, which is this amazing thing. It's this amazing invention from Sarah Renee Clark. It's called the Color Cube, and she has a digital version, which is just as good. It's just as good, but I'm more of like a hands-on person. And in here, there's 2 volumes. In each volume, there's 250 color palettes with like reference photos and stuff, and it was designed for like coloring book enthusiasts to be able to like make color schemes and stuff for their coloring book pages. But I'm like, it's good for designers, it's good for painters, and like everyone is like a little reference photo. And so I was asking her, I'm like, are these royalty-free images I could use for like references and stuff? She's like, yeah. She said there was like 25 photos that she privately licensed, but all the other ones are from Pixabay or Unsplash that she made the palettes from. So I'm like, this is just like creative blockbuster, super exciting. She did such a good job on these. And I used one of her cards for that painting. I don't know, there, I'll turn it like that so you can't, so this is not so glary. And that's with oil pastels. I used oil painting paper by Hahnemuhle for that. I think for the oil pastels, you're better off using a more gritty, grabby paper like the Canson XL sand grain. But I did use it on that. It was fine. I did use a little solvent on it. But anyways, that full tutorial is up in Critique Club. I'll have a time lapse of it on YouTube tomorrow. But I mean, I just had to share this. I don't know if you'd have enough shipping time to get this as a gift for somebody for Christmas, but I wish I knew how cool this was like 2 months ago, because I can think of so many people that would love. My mom, my sister, my best friend, they would all love this because they're all crafty people. I think it's the coolest thing. I think it might be, if I knew about this when I did my art gift guide, this would have, I think, been my top pick for like, I don't want to say luxury, but kind of in the like, under $100 category. Definitely this whole system would be my pick. Next year, I guess it'll be in my thing next year. But that just blew my mind, and it was just like felt like I've been in kind of like a creative slump for the last couple of weeks, and it was just kind of like, oh, and I like that, and I like that, and I like those colors, and I like those colors. Oh, it was just like invigorating to see all those beautiful colors put together. Like she pulled all the cool colors from each picture and made a palette. It's just, oh, so good. I guess she does that on her website as well, and she's been doing that for years on her website, but she made like a box of cards. I don't know, it doesn't take much to amuse me, I guess, but I just thought that was awesome. And in the case that maybe you live near the shipping, I know mine shipped out of Georgia, so I don't know, maybe if you live close to the warehouse you could get it in time for Christmas. I don't know. I hate to count on any sort of shipping this time of year, but I just thought, oh, I wish I knew about that. I wish I knew about that earlier, because I think that would have been awesome. So file it away for next year, guys. Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cube. Or actually, she does have the color collection, which is digital, and in that case, that's immediate. When you buy it, you get it immediately. So, so that would be something that you could do. I imagine you could buy it for someone. I don't know. Probably, you probably could buy it for someone. Maybe you would buy it and then forward the email, or you put their email address in. I don't know, but it's very cool, and I think that especially the physical one, because like you just hand it Merry Christmas, there you go, and you've got, wow, all these palettes. So that really just made me really excited this week. It was totally this kind of like, wow. Oh, I did another one from that. What did I do with that little sketchbook? Oh, I tucked it in here. I did another one, and this was like in the height of like, no creative ambition. And I did this little coffee cup. What is it with blue coffee cups? I mean, I had one from World Watercolor Month too, but yeah. It's, because sometimes you go online and, because, too lazy to set up a still life. I'm too lazy to set up a still life most of the time. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to go online. What is it with my nose running? Every time I go to do a sat chat. And then, okay, so I'm scrolling. Oop, here a ding. That means I got an email or somebody sending me a message on Facebook or whatever. So I go and check that. And then, oh, while I'm at it, I had to write a blog post. And then by the time I've remembered, oh, I came online to find a reference photo or to find a couple of reference photos or something, I've completely spent all my time doing other things because I've gotten distracted. So that, because I tend to get distracted online, is perfect for me. Although the digital version, it's like an interactive PDF. So if you have that open on your tablet, it's not, I don't think you're as tempted to go to other things. Well, when I use my husband's tablet, and we don't have anything logged into that, so I don't get notifications for anything on that. So that's probably why that worked all right. But anyways, that's cool. I want to mention that. What else? So this week, I started off last weekend. I was sick, but I did get all my Christmas cards mailed. I don't think Jason's got his side of the family done yet, or his work done yet, but my side of the family is done. And what else? So last Saturday, last week, oh my word, I could not get everything done that I need to get done, because I think it's because I was feeling under the weather and I wasn't like firing on all cylinders. So I was just like dragging my feet constantly. It's so frustrating, when you're used to getting a certain amount of stuff done in a day, and then like you're just dragged down and you're uninspired because you're feeling sick, and you don't know that you're feeling sick yet. You just feel like you're a lazy bum, but it's actually you've got like a cold coming on or something. So I didn't get everything I needed to get done, which I had plenty of time to get everything done. I don't know what the problem was, but I couldn't get it done. But I worked Saturday, and I got these little shaker ornaments finished, and I used Xyron Creative Station for this. This was that Xyron project I was telling you about, and super easy to do. I used craft foam, so they're not gonna like get all bent and dinged like if it was cardstock. And this project is actually really quick and easy to make. And then I showed ideas for using up the leftovers so you didn't have a bunch of wasted foam. Even like the scraps, because we make a double-sided foam sheet to cut our shaker frame out with. But all those little scraps that you might think you throw away, no, you save those and you use them for like dimensional adhesive in your cards and scrapbook pages and stuff. So it's like zero waste for the inner layer. And then the outer layer, I just cut extra little circles out of, and you can use them for embellishing things. And I made a couple like shaker tags to, with the scraps, because I don't like to, I can't, if I take all those scraps and I put them in, I'm probably never going to get back to it. So while I had everything out, I'm like, I'm making a bunch of tags while I'm at it, because otherwise next year I'm going to see this like envelope full of circle sticky backed foam circle frames, and I'm going to be like, meh, and I'm just going to chuck them. So I'm like, no, use them now while you have all your scraps out. Grab a few scrapbook paper scraps and just use them up. But anyway, my kids are all grown, so I took the photos from like when they were little, and like the Christmas, like I'd always take photos for Christmas cards to mail out. And so I've got ones with the kids in the Santa hats and reindeer hats, and I've got ones with the kids, and I got an individual one of each of the kids out playing in the snow. And there's Lila and my Jackson, my Jackaroni, and Maisie in a hat that I made. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. So it was nice to do snow globes where they were playing in the snow. And so that project is up on my YouTube channel right now. It's a nice, quick and easy project that, like, if you're trying to think of something, oh my gosh, I need something else for, grandma. Very, very good project to do. You could even do that with the kids. There is a little bit of dexterity stuff, so probably not the real little kids, because you're like, putting the glitter in and then like having to line up like the acetate and stuff like that. That could be a little challenging for small children, but you could give them the scraps and let them like let them play with the self-adhesive glitter sheets and stuff like that, and they could play with that and have a good time crafting next to you. So you could get them done if your kids are really little, because I remember that challenge when the kids are really little, if you're trying to make some Christmas projects, it being difficult because they're not old enough to help you with your project, but they're kind of right there. So if you can do these adjacent craft projects for them, and that goes for like working with grandkids and stuff, maybe you're watching the grandkids while, their parents work or whatnot, you can have, take those scraps and let them just go hog wild with them, because they will come up with creative things to do with that. And I'm telling you what, whatever they make, the parents will cherish. They'll go in the fridge because their babies made it, and everything is magical that your kids make you. So, So that project is up. And what else? Oh, Prismacolor. Prismacolor has discontinued 2 of their light purple colors, lilac and lavender. And I just learned about that this week. I don't know when it happened, but the reason they're doing this is because the pigment that they used to make those colors is no longer available. And you know what? It is difficult. You would not believe how many shades of purple there are out there, because I heard about that and I'm like, well, I have, if nothing, if I cannot be a cautionary tale, I have a lot of supplies, and but it's like, well, I can use that particular hoarding for good use. I can put that to good use. So I went through all of my sets, and I went to try to find matches, and I really wanted to find matches that were wax-based, kind of soft and blendable and open stock. Boy, oh boy, that was tough. That was really tough. I thought for sure I would find, because you know how the like the Derwent Chromaflows, I love those pencils. They feel a lot like Prismacolor. They lay down, they blend just like Prismacolors. I thought, I bet they have matches. They didn't. Their purples were a little bit more grayed or a little bit more intense, so they weren't a really good match. And also, you can find on my blog, I had I have the list of their colors with their light fast ratings. I think it's, if you search Chromaflow 72 set, I think it will come up. But they gave me permission to share that sheet, and actually a lot of their colors are fairly light fast. I was surprised at how light fast some of their colors were. I think they were concerned with, because the Chromaflows actually did pretty well in the light fast testing, that they may kind of cannibalize their other more artist grade lines. So, and they really were kind of putting that line of pencils out there for, oh, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but okay, never mind. Forget I said. Anyway, they're really good. They're better than they ought to be, is what I'm going to say. But they said I could share the light fast ratings on my blog, so I did. So I have permission to do that. So so no shade there. It's just, hey, you know, them hiding how good their product is, that's it's like, you don't need to hide that. You know, your product's extra good. You don't need to hide that. But they didn't have this particular shade. The undertones of this color, they're very vibrant, very kind of fuchsia-y. And I did a video on this, showing the comparable colors across many brands, and I was really only finding exact matches in the budget brands, ironically, probably because it's not a very light fast shade. Purples and pinks don't tend to be very light fast anyways, but I did find 2 open stock options, and one was from the Cezanne line from Creative Mark that Jerry's Artorama sells, and the other was an Arteza pencil. So both of those are available open stock. You do have to buy boxes. Like Cezanne are sold in boxes of 6 for about $4, and Arteza is sold in boxes of 3 for about $6, I think, $5.99. I think it was, yeah, $5.99 for a box of 3 of the Arteza, or $3.99 for a box of 6 of the Cezanne. So, so that's great. You can get alternatives. Now, I don't know if they're using the same pigment in those pencils as Prismacolor was, so maybe those will get discontinued as well. But one thing I've noticed is that it seems like, I don't know if it's just like I'm more aware of it, or if it's actually a trend and something that's happening. You know, like when you go buy a car and then you notice like all the other cars, you like never noticed them before, and then you start looking around and everybody has the same car as you. Well, or like when you're pregnant and like you don't know anyone that's pregnant, but then as soon as you get pregnant, you see all these pregnant people everywhere. So it's kind of like, I don't know. So I don't know if it's like that, but I don't think it is, because I've been interested in pigments and stuff for quite a while. But I've noticed over the past like 3 or 4 years, a lot more colors going extinct. A lot of pigment sources drying up. Recently, it's been like, was it PR206 or PR209? I think it's PR206. One of those has just been announced that it's going to be discontinued. You know, there was a quinacridone gold. There's been quite a few pigments like in the last few years that have gone extinct. And it's not that they've gone extinct like there were mines somewhere and they ran out of those minerals. They're synthetic pigments. They're made in labs, but art suppliers ironically do not buy enough pigments for for chemists and factories to create pigment batches just for art supplies. So we're left with the dregs. We're left with mostly leftovers from the auto industry, which makes sense because if you're doing an automotive coating, it's got to be light fast, right? People don't get rid of their cars in a year. People's cars don't fade, in the course of 20 years. So they've got to use light, stable pigments. And that's where most of our fine art pigments come from. And then like your student grade pigments will often come from, some of them will be from like the automotive industry, and some are still mined, but in general, they're coming from factories and they're coming from the automotive industry, or they are coming from the plastics industry. In the plastics industry, those, you notice plastic things fade a lot quicker than cars and whatnot. Some things do and some things don't, but you'll see like kids' toys, for instance. You'll see them, been left outside, they will fade within the course of a summer. And so a lot of the student grade pigments, they tend to be leftovers from plastics, cosmetics, and food pigments, so more dyes. And especially like kids grade products are going to be more of like your food safe and your cosmetic safe chemicals that are used in those, so that they are non-toxic. So I don't think those are going to be in jeopardy like anytime soon, because I mean, people are going to keep wearing cosmetics. Food is going to continue to be dyed, but I do think eventually the pigments that are going into plastics, we're going to run into the same situation where like the ones that were used for automotives are starting to wane. Because I mean, if you look around, you go to a new car lot, you're seeing gray, red, black, white. You're not seeing a huge variety of color, maybe like a navy, like a dark navy blue or something, but you're not seeing like, do you remember a few years ago, there were like turquoises and burnt orange and, green. There were crazy colors. And even if you look back at like, the heyday of like the muscle cars, you would have like bright lime green and bright orange and, bright blue, all these bright purples, you'd have all these crazy colors, bright yellow. And I feel like the car colors are getting so much more conservative. I think part of it is that, car companies are making fewer new cars now, especially the pandemic has accelerated this. I think they're reducing choices and, making it so that cars don't sit on lots. Nothing is too flashy or outrageous, and everything is kind of like looking the same. And there's not the need for all those wild and crazy colors anymore. At least that's my take on it. That's what I think is going on. I might be wrong, but I mean, I'm not saying go hoard paint, because we have enough problems hoarding paint without there being any scarcity. But I definitely think that there's going to be some colors that are in jeopardy. And another thing that I'm noticing is that when I compare products today versus their counterpart from like 10, 15, 20 years ago, I am noticing a subtle quality decline. I noticed it the biggest in like the Winsor Newton Cotman paints, which they did change where they were manufactured. But I think because one thing I've noticed is that prices on a lot of art supplies have not gone up when prices on everything else have gone way up. And so how are they making it so these prices aren't going up? They can either reduce the size, which is pretty obvious in an art supply. If your like a tube of paint gets smaller because they're not that big to begin with, or if a pencil was to get shorter. I mean, you can even tell if the lead seems to be thinner. I mean, you notice things like that. So it's very hard for art supply companies to do the shrinkflation thing. So I think they need to start looking at, using cheaper materials or more extenders and things like that. Because if the price isn't going up, but the prices on everything else are going up, it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, well, how are they cutting corners? And so sometimes when somebody asks me my opinion on a supply, and if it's a supply that I've had for 20 years, because like some things wear really slow, like the Caran d'Ache watercolor crayons, those wear very slowly. Color pencils wear pretty slowly if you're not using them all the time. And there's some colors you just don't use that much, so you may be watching that, oh, this is gorgeous, you go to buy another one, it's like, oh, this doesn't seem the same. So yeah, I'm hesitant to review some of the products that I have that are kind of like the name brand fancy schmancy art supplies, because it's like I don't know if they're still the same anymore. And even with the budget brands, I'm not sure if they're still the same, over the course of over a couple batches, because they can use a different factory, you never know. But anyways, oh my gosh, what did I do this week? We've been here gabbing for 20 minutes and I haven't even told you what I did this week. So I left the house. I got a call, or I got a text from my dentist on my dental hygienist Tuesday afternoon, or her secretary, asking if I wanted to come in because it was a cancellation and I'm overdue. My last cleaning was in February, and I didn't want to book anything this summer because with the girls going off to college, I had no idea what my schedule was going to be like. I didn't want to be committed to anything, and so I'm like, just call me if there's a cancellation. So she's like, I got a cancellation 9 a.m. tomorrow. Do you want it? And I'm like, well, yes, I'll take it. If I don't come, I'll send one of the kids. So I took that. None of the kids wanted to get up that early. So I'm like, well, this is great. 9 a.m. appointments are perfect because then I have the rest of the day to do what I want to do. So I went and had my teeth cleaned, no problems with my teeth. And then, well, they did see this little white spot under my tongue. And like, I wonder what that is. And I'm thinking, is it cancer? Do I have cancer? I'm going to Google mouth cancer when I get home. They're like, do not do that. There's like, it looks like a tonsil stone, but that's not my tonsils. But I think it's a salivary saliva duct stone or something. I don't know. I couldn't see it. So they sent me home with this little mirror that I could look at, and then I'll come in a couple of weeks. They're going to look at it and make sure it still looks fine. She said, I don't think it's anything to be worried about. So, so I'm like, okay, I'm not Googling anything. Although I did Google tonsil stones just to see what the heck was that, 'cause I never heard of it, and that gross. Because like I brush my teeth 3 times a day, like at least twice, sometimes 3. I floss every day. I have very good oral hygiene, so I don't think I would have a tonsil stone, and plus it's not my tonsils, but it could be a salivary stone because I don't drink very much water. So that could be definitely the case, that I'm not drinking enough water. So, like stuff can get trapped in your salivary glands. Isn't that gross? Wait, TMI, I know, TMI. So yeah, I'm going to drink a bunch of water and flush that puppy out of there. So that's my plan. And then after that, I'm like, well, I'm going to go to the ceramic shop and I'm going to, it's go time. I need to get my ceramics painted so that I can get them fired in time to give them as gifts. So nobody I know in real life watches these sat chats, so I don't have to worry about spoiling any surprises, I don't think. No, I've actually warned everybody, you're getting mediocre pottery, temper your expectations for Christmas. So I had the bean pot that I made for my husband, which I'm kind of regretting. I don't know what it's going to look like, because when you do the underglazing, it's like you don't know. The colors come out so much prettier, but it's like, but you don't know. And I started painting it and I was using a neon blue, and I'm like, I thought I was using Delft blue. So I'm like, oh no. So then I painted over it, and then I did some drippiness on the side. So I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. I started like doing a little dot pattern, and I'm like, no, I don't think I want a pattern. So I'm like painting over that. I have no idea how this thing is going to come out. I'll show you. If I have it back next week, I'll show you. I hope it comes out good. I think I saw Rennie's had bean pots, so I can always run to Rennie's and Ellsworth was it Belfast? Where was it? I can't remember where I saw it, but I can always run to Rennie's and buy one that's already made that's perfect. But I'm not crazy about that like tan and brown, like classic New England bean pot aesthetic. I want something a little funkier. I'm hoping Jason wants something funkier, but either way, he'll have a bean pot one way or another. He'll either have one beautiful artisanal bean pot, or he'll have one ugly artisanal bean pot in a store-bought pretty standard bean pot. One way or another, that will happen. I was hoping that I could get all my holiday shopping that I needed left to do done yesterday, but I don't think that happened. Or Wednesday. Oh my word, this week is a blur. So I got everything, everything I needed to get done, I got painted, and then I brought everything else home because I had been leaving stuff I already fired and I paid for there, and then I noticed like there was another receipt in my box. I'm like, I already paid for this. I was going to start charging me rent for leaving my ceramics there. So it's like, I got to clear this out. They've got a lot of people that have got stuff there to be fired. So I have all this bisqueware stuff that's just, I don't know if it's worth even glazing and firing. I got to think about it. I also bought some colored slips so that my next batch of pottery that I do, I can paint the greenware with the colored slips. I got a bright blue, a deep purple, and then 3 different shades of green, so I could do some like ombres with those, I think. And that way I could just bring it there and say, please fire it twice. Fire it, and then glaze it, and fire it again. And that way I won't have to come back and sit and paint. And it is nice to get out of the house and do that, but I feel kind of rushed, and I'm using somebody else's brushes, and I'm kind of particular about my brushes. So, I've got nicer brushes at home. Of course, I could bring my own brushes, but for whatever reason, I don't seem to have my act together to get everything. There's no perfect. See, I'm like, you know what? No, banish perfect. We're going to get it done. You know, I'm not going to wait for perfect conditions to do anything, or nothing would get done. There would be no pottery if I waited for perfect conditions to make pottery and to glaze pottery. Nothing would be made. Nothing would be fired. It would be lumps of clay in a bag, or maybe just sitting drying on a shelf. And yeah, we're gonna go for done and not perfect this Christmas. Maybe that's my motto. That might be my motto for life, to be honest. But so anyways, got that done, and then I'm like, okay, I need to do. I look like a hobo. I bought a new shirt. You like my t-shirt? Huh? Pretty cute, huh? I mean, it's pretty basic, but I'm like, I need some jeans. My jeans are all like either have paint or ink on them, or they're just worn out. I like wear my clothes until they are just like rags, because, well, for one thing, like I raid the Goodwill bag whenever the kids are like cleaning their closet, because I can wear my daughter's clothes. So like I'll go through that first. And that's my first line of shopping. I hate shopping. I hate shopping, and I think it might be because when I was a kid, well, I don't think I ever really loved shopping, to be honest. But, you know, sometimes we'd go. Mom would let me skip school and take me shopping sometimes, and that was a lot of fun, and that's way better than school. Shopping was way better than school, but I'm not a big shopper. But then when I was like 19, I was having wisdom teeth problems, and my mother got sick of hearing me bitch about it, so, oh, sorry. We're 25 minutes in. You guys are probably fine with that word if you're watching this long. Sorry. So she told me we were going shopping, and she took me to the dentist, and they pulled my wisdom teeth out. So I think I have a little trauma around shopping, maybe. So yeah, I'm thinking, do I need to edit that word out? I apologize. I sincerely do. So anyway, I think that's why I have a little shopping trauma. But anyway, so I found myself, and I tried on like 6 pairs of jeans, and they all fit, and some were too big, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I didn't expect that. I think they're just like, I think what they're doing is like putting smaller sizes on jean labels to make us feel good about ourselves, because I think that's the only reasonable explanation. But I did find a couple pairs of jeans that I liked, and they were a good price, so that was good. And I did pick up a few more Christmas presents. I have not wrapped a stitch. I haven't wrapped anything. So it's like, I feel like I'm pretty well set, but I have a feeling when I go and I wrap presents, I'm gonna be like, oh, I need to go out again. I need to do some more shopping. So I don't know. Thank goodness my husband does the most of the Christmas shopping. He is much better at it than I am. He's much more organized at that stuff, and I'm just very glad for that, because I get overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed with the shopping and all of that. But hey, in any event, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope your Christmas plans are going well. Your preps, if you are prepping for Christmas. If you're not, I hope you're just having an awesome week. Because yeah, it's busy out there. Try not to get stressed out when you go to the grocery store. Man, this is crunch time. So I wish you well. Stay calm, stay unstressed, and I will see you next time. And I'll try not to swear. See you later. Happy crafting. Bye.